Greetings and good day, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to Let's Play Scratches, the Director's Cut edition. And before we begin episode number 40 of Blackwood Manor Madness and talk a little about the letter we found, I'd like to address something real quick. Something concerning the end of the last episode. Remember this small wooden box, presumably belonging to James T. Blackwood? I called this thing a casket, and one viewer was kind enough to point out that, wow, you call this thing a casket? That's funny. I understand why. After all, when you hear the word casket, you normally think of a wooden coffin rather than a wooden box, right? Well, the explanation as to why I chose that word is simple. Here in Germany, we have one of two words, or use one of two words for this kind of container: Schatulle or Kästchen. And guess what these two words translate to in English or American? That's right, casket. So please don't blame me if it sounded weird, blame the language differences. Now then, with all of that said, let's get back on track, going into Michael Arthur impersonation mode in 3, 2, 1. Alright, now, let us talk a little bit more about this letter we found, shall we? I already gave you most of my thoughts about it at the end of the last episode, but still, here is a quick recap. This letter was not written by James, interestingly enough, but by his best friend, Dr. Christopher Milton, to Catherine, James's wife. That alone would probably not be all that strange if it wasn't for the fact that we found this letter inside James's personal drawer here within the study. And, well, the letter isn't all that harmless either. It is more a warning than a simple letter saying hello and everything. So what did we find out? Well, in the first half, Christopher keeps talking about how he is becoming more and more afraid of James. That James even wanted him to perform a ritual on the Mask of the Dalmar to drive out evil spirits, to get rid of the curse. Christopher doesn't believe a word of it and is warning Catherine, but the second half is even more confusing. Apparently, both Christopher and Catherine had a secret. Something they never told James about, something that happened 2 years ago, the year when the Blackwood's son was born and also died. The question is, why? Why were Catherine and Christopher hiding something from James? And what could it have been? Perhaps a secret relationship? I beg to differ. So far, none of the notes we found talked about Christopher as if he was the kind of guy to have an affair with the wife of somebody else. Besides, he was the best friend of the family. It wouldn't really make sense. It would really come out of nowhere without any kind of explanation. Also, in the letter, Christopher didn't really talk like it was about an affair of the past. They were talking about a decision they made, not about some kind of incident they wanted to cover up. A decision that James didn't know anything about. In all honesty, it wouldn't surprise me if it was the truth. After all, with this case, sudden turn of events literally come out of nowhere all the time. But the theory that, for example, Catherine had an affair with Christopher and that perhaps they had a child, maybe the child that died wasn't the child of James. Maybe it was the child of Christopher. Somehow James found out about it, and he couldn't live with it. He already had to endure the madness caused by the mask, and all of a sudden, his family, his most trusted people, were betraying him, his loved ones. Of course, a person could go mad, but I don't want to believe that they had an affair. I want to believe that something happened with the son that caused James to go crazy. Maybe he didn't kill his son. Well, once again I can stand here all day and theorize to no end as to what could have happened, how James could be the bad guy, or how he is not the bad guy and it was truly the fault of Catherine and Christopher, but it wouldn't solve our current problem. How are we going to open up this wooden casket? The letter didn't give us a combination, it didn't even hint at it. And I don't think that anything inside the house hinted at it, right? What do you think, ladies and gents? Of course you cannot answer me right now, but I hope you are thinking with me. How could we solve this problem? Ladies and gentlemen, I am sorry that I have to tell you this, but in order to solve this situation, I have to go out of character. Yes, indeed. Why? Because this right here is the most obscure puzzle out of the entire adventure. Have you ever heard the saying that there is a thin line between, oh, why, of course, I could have thought of this, and Jesus Christ, this is impossible. Without a walkthrough, I would never have been able to advance. This can be that kind of situation. The solution to this riddle can either be incredibly obvious or incredibly stupid, depending on how much you think about it. Some of you already know the solution, I am sure. Some of you will be like, what the hell are we supposed to do? And other people will be like, oh, I have an idea, but I'm not too sure. Well, we need to solve this riddle while playing like a professional walkthroughist. Yes, that's a word I just made up, I don't think it exists. In any case, the main reason why I am going to solve this puzzle out of character is simply because I want to show you all how complex and simply ridiculous the solution is going to be. Truth be told, when I first played through this adventure, this was the only puzzle I got stuck on for at least an hour, and in the end I had to look up a walkthrough to figure out the solution, and when I saw the solution I facepalmed, because it was both obvious and also hidden like a needle in a haystack. The first question you will probably be asking yourself right now is, where have I seen numbers before in this place, other than in notes and the like? Some kind of combination that seemed important but not important enough. Well, we are heading towards that location right now. Yes, indeed, the tower, one and all. TheShadowCookie, I can hear those of you still oblivious to the solution of the puzzle say, why are we back inside the tower? Is the solution really in here? Not quite. The truth is, we need to head back down into the darkness of the abyss, as you can see here. No, it's just a graphical glitch, I'm kidding. But yes, we need to head back down into the nursery. We need to descend a second time, can you believe it, for the solution to the puzzle is waiting inside. It is something we examined, but we didn't deem it to be of too much importance. We just thought it was another relic of the past. How easy and simple you can be. It's like you are walking past an ordinary cup of coffee and it turns out that this cup of coffee is actually black water of youth that can turn you immortal or something. Well, I am digressing. It is time to solve this puzzle, or riddle, whichever word you prefer. Now then, Michael, I'm sorry that I have to make you do this a second time, but would you please descend? Yeah. Careful now, Mr. Arthite. Let me calm you down while you descend with a funny story I heard some time ago. There once was this guy who was, you know, on the contract to fix a roof. So he climbed onto the roof and, well, he wasn't secured or anything, so eventually he slipped. Yeah. Yes, he slipped and he fell down all the way to the ground, and when he hit the ground, his head exploded like a baked potato wrapped in tin foil that was cooked for too long in the microwave. Now, I'm not saying that the same thing could happen to you, but it will if you do not pay attention to what you are doing. Now, please get inside that window, Michael. We are almost done with the situation. Come on, be brave. There you go. Good boy. Phew. Well, so much for I never wanted to do this again. Oh well. Welcome back to the nursery, one and all. Those of you aware of what I am going to do will now be like, come on, hurry up, you're wasting our time, you're wasting everyone's time. Well, that is not true. I can imagine at least 2 people out there who will not know what is going to happen. And to those people, yes, I am inside the nursery. What the hell am I trying to accomplish here? Simple. Let me enlighten you. Can you remember a certain point of interest within this room? A point of interest such as the pile of toy blocks right here? Well, I even commented on them. I said, look how old they are, look how the letters are slowly vanishing. Well, ladies and gentlemen, you will now be like, is the code somewhere hidden in between these blocks, under them? Nope, in fact you are staring at the combination. I am so not making this up. These blocks, look at them. Do you see those little numbers next to the much bigger letters? Like we have 6, 6, 6, 3, etc., etc. Yes, indeed, we have found it. This is the combination to the small wooden casket of James T. Blackwood. Now, I am sure that a few minds out there, including the one of my girlfriend, love you honey, were blown right now. Seriously? This is the solution? Well, yes, indeed. Now, why do I deem this puzzle to be so ridiculous? Well, the game doesn't give you any hints. Yes, of course, you do not always want hints. You want to solve a puzzle by yourself. You want to, use your brain a little. But this right here, it's just a random pile of toy blocks. Unless you paid good attention and remembered that they had numbers on them, you wouldn't draw the connection and just wander around aimlessly for hours. Oh, but wait, TheShadowCookie, some of you will now say. I am much smarter than you. You are just being a silly coconut. You are being completely stupefied. The solution to this puzzle was obvious. Of course it had to be the toy blocks. I was thinking of them the entire time. Well, Mr. Nerd, can you also tell me the combination? Well, you have plenty of numbers to choose from. At least more than 10, and we need 5. In the right order. I am waiting. Still feeling so very smart? Perhaps some of you do, and I admire that, but I am pretty sure that some of you will now be like, oh, well, look at them. Do you know the combination? No, of course you don't. Well, I had my fun treating some of you guys like buffoons. It is time to spell out the solution of the puzzle. How do we figure out the combination? Simple. We just need to arrange the blocks in a way that they spell out the name of James T. Blackwood's son. That is the solution. We need the name of the son. And if we can arrange the blocks in that order, we will also know the combination. Now, what is my problem with this puzzle? If you can figure this out, beautiful, amazing, but they expect you to return to an old pile of toy blocks for a combination, and they also expect you to know the name. You have to combine both of these thoughts. You wouldn't think of it immediately, unless you're some kind of genius. It's just so out of nowhere. Oh well. Whether you think this puzzle is ridiculous or not, the only question boggling my mind is, what the frick was James T. Blackwood smoking? What kind of acid was he on when he came up with this combination? Did he just go into his son's room and was like, oh, well, yeah, these numbers, they are random, but I can spell my son's name out with them. It's gonna make a great combination, yeah. If it was just like a letter log, then I would have understood if he had used the name of a son, but something like this? Sir, Mr. Blackwood, talk about creativity. There better be something bloody good inside that casket or else. Well, let us toss the fake anger aside. It is time for the main event of this episode, the name of the Blackwood's son. What could it be? Well, ladies and gentlemen, the toy blocks are actually giving us an obvious hint. Do you see it? Take your time. Here's a little reminder. The name starts with an R. Do you see it? If not, you might have to increase the size of the YouTube video player a bit. Some, if not all of you, already know it, but I like to maintain suspense. Let me move in a little closer. If you don't see it by now, then you are probably occupied with something else. In any case, let me just spell it out for you guys. The name of the Blackwood's son, drumroll, is Robin Blackwood. Robin. May he rest in peace. And figuring out the name is probably the most simple part of this puzzle. Still though, look, the blocks are positioned in such a convenient order. It's amazing. Now then, let's take a look at the numbers. Here we have an R. The code starts with a 5. Moving on to the lower blocks, 5 followed by a 9, I think, or 6. But then again, the block is laying sort of upside down. It's probably a 9, followed by 097. That's the code. 59097, and because I know how horrible my memory is, let me just quickly write it down. 59097. There we go. Always got a piece of paper and pen within reach. Now then, I do hope that this is the right combination, cause if it is not, then we would have to return to this place a third time, something I would not appreciate. Let's just make sure. Are there any other R's? No? Don't see any. This is most definitely a 9, right? Well, if it is not, then it's not gonna be hard to just change the code around a bit. I guess that's it. Everything we can do within the nursery. What a sad room. But there's nothing else left for me to accomplish or achieve. Come on now, Michael. I promise this will be the last time you have to do this. Here we go. Yeah. Careful, Michael. Don't you dare lose your grip. We are so very close to discovering the secret of Blackwood Manor. By the way, this random climbing act reminds me of when I once went to Southern Europe with my father, and we ascended to, or climbed, that's probably the better word for it, climbed a 2,500 meter tall mountain. It's a true story. Phew, and believe me, for a rookie climber, 2,500 meters are quite a lot. It was a little dangerous, but nevertheless still awesome. I'd do it again. Now, it is time to test out if this combination we discovered is the correct one. I do have to give James T. Blackwood that though. No matter how freaking ridiculous what's the word? Come on, think, damn it. No matter how ridiculous the procedure was to find out that combination, he was very creative to even think of such an idea in the first place. Just going into the room of his son and being like, oh yes, these toy blocks, so random and everything. I'm gonna make a great combination for my personal study casket, or whatever. But it confuses me a little. Why would he choose the name of his son if he killed him? We do not know if he killed him. Maybe it was guilt. He took the name because he felt guilty for what he had done. Or did he pick the name before his son died and couldn't or didn't want to change it afterwards? So many mysteries. Hopefully there will be a good answer within this casket, or else we are once again stuck in a dead end. Now then, the moment of truth has come. What could James be hiding inside this box? What was so very important to him? Could it hint at the dark secret of Catherine and Christopher, or at his crimes? First of all, a 5, followed by a 9. Next, a 0 would be nice, followed by yet another 9. Here we go. And last but not least, a 7. Are you ready, ladies and gentlemen? Open sesame. Bingo! That was the sweet sound of a lock opening up. We've done it, ladies and gentlemen. Whew, now then, you know, I'm almost expecting this thing to be nothing more than a jack-in-the-box, or maybe to contain a letter that says, "Fooled you." I swear to God. But nah, that would be just crazy. Now then, it is time to uncover the secret. Here we go. What? It's empty. You've got to be kidding me. I went through so much trouble to get that darn combination and key nonetheless for the drawer, and it's empty. It's empty. No. This is a bad joke and I'm not laughing. James T. Blackwood was a sly fox. He was a clever little devil. There has to be more to this freaking thing. Come on, think. Is there anything out of the ordinary? I can see weird little shapes. I don't know what else to call them. Come on, this box, it looks so much bigger from the outside. It's like, can you remove this thing, this top part? You have to. There's no other way. Come on. You hear that? This thing... Come on. Aha! Oh, James Blackwood, you bastard! Seriously, what's with all these mechanisms all of a sudden? This is not a freaking Spencer mansion from Resident Evil. Christ. Are these buttons? This is unbelievable. You can turn this into different directions. Wow! You can push down the button that this middle part is pointed at. Alright, we are getting somewhere. I will uncover your secrets, James. Alright, there we go. What now? Can we pull this top part out now? Come on, we can do this. Yes! Success! Look at this mechanism. Wow, what do we have here? Why, it appears to be a golden key with a cross-shaped symbol. I can imagine what this little beauty is going to unlock. There is only one place left after all. Wow. Other than that, not a lot of interest, just some more, I presume, African coins and money. But seriously, look at this. No matter how many crimes James might have committed during his life, these mechanisms are amazing. I'm so intrigued right now. And do you want to know what else is intriguing me right now, one and all? The chapel itself. I mean, James went through quite a bit of trouble to hide this key. The key itself was in a strange casket with a peculiar mechanism. The casket itself was within a locked drawer, and James probably tried to lose the key on purpose within the greenhouse. We went through some trouble to get this key. Forget about the other one. This took a lot of our time, but we finally have it. Looks like all paths are leading towards the chapel, a divine place dedicated to the existence of God and probably Jesus Christ. What will we find inside with the help of this heavily adorned golden key? What did James T. Blackwood spend his time on? What was or is he trying to protect and hide?